It's Pete and it's Duncan, it's Sneedy and it's Mick.
And Lenny.
We're joined by guests, pass and rock and kick. Volunteers everywhere, we applaud. Holy moly, it's the Cob Pod.
Yeah, holy moly. It's the final Cob Pod of the season.
I know. Exciting.
Is this the 14th one we've done?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. 14th.
Because we went to fortnightly, didn't we, this time around?
Yeah. How's that been for the old schedule, Pete?
Oh, shocking. You know, I've squeezed it in, you know, in between my busy lifestyle.
I got to say, welcome, listeners. Where are we? We're up in the Braemar room. It's a wee bit warm. We've got Mr. Lund sporting, I'm going to say, a Hawaiian shirt. You know?
Yeah, it's not too loud, is it? It's unusual colour as well.
Kind of work Hawaiian chic.
Yeah. It's good on Teams calls. People peer at you going, what the heck is that? But there we are.
Nice. We've got Def Alex. Hello, pal.
Good evening.
You look warm and sweat. How was that in the AGP today?
Yeah, I take my touch rugby, you know, I bring effort. It's the only thing. 100% effort. Let's work with that.
And then Pete Christie, good to see you, pal. If I may say, looking maybe a touch shabby.
Oh, yeah, a bit of a red wine frenzy yesterday up in town, the Beaujolais Club, with a couple of friends who were members there.
Sounds like a good
And
club.
just,
We
had lunch,
look
very
that up.
nice, lots of wine, and then let's have another bottle before we go home. Bad idea.
Did you call it a red wine frenzy?
Yeah, yeah, good. And then we get back to Waterloo, and we don't have time to go to the pub for a beer, so I know what we'll do. So I ran over to the little shop and bought 3 tins of gin and tonic.
It's not this guy's first rodeo, is it?
Oh, God. Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Anyway, this morning was
3
not
o'clock
great.
in the afternoon.
Very well played. So here we go. Last part of the season.
Yep.
Nice. What are we going to talk about? Apart from the season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to say, the season would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Lots to summarise.
I mean, why don't we start? I can see there's someone at the... In fact, should we get our mystery guest in first? Because we don't
Yeah,
really
let's
know
do
who
that.
that's going to
Somebody
be.
already
Let's
at the door.
do that.
Okay, here we go. Goodness me. Wearing a singlet,
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
You can rock that,
Good
can't they?
look.
looking fresh. It's only the pod Father Sneed himself.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Vests everywhere.
Well, what a better opportunity than to start with maybe a bit of a review of the Vets season then, if we go all the way back, Sneedy.
Yeah.
How was it?
Good season. We started strong, won a few games, built a bit of momentum, and then came short on a few. But all in all, you know, Miles put together a lovely fixture list, Friday night lights, many home games. You know, we had the usual Barnes game, which was fantastic as always. We had that Epsom match, which was a team that we don't usually play, but we know they're strong, and we came short on that. But that was one of the matches that really stands out for me, you know, as a great fixture. You know, when you're in those matches and it's like 10 minutes to go, and you know you can come back. You know, you feel the belief.
Yeah.
And we came back. And then we were just short, but it doesn't matter.
So, Janidi, how big is your squad now? How many people played for you this year?
This year we had about 50 in total.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, we almost needed just 4 or 5 more players, and then we'd have 2 squads, I reckon. You know, the depth of the squad is amazing. But if I'm honest, sometimes it works against you.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you got 25 people, you got to play everybody.
10
and
changes at half time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
doesn't always work in your favour.
Yeah. And crowning moment of this season, because I'd love to we'll go to the Kenya tour in a minute. Outside of the Kenya tour, crowning moment of the rugby season.
Oh, tough one. You know, I always say I always think it's the matches that you sort of avenge. Like I know that I remember a couple of years ago we went to Farnham and we got beat, and the next year we really focused on that game and we came back at them. Same with Barnes. This year, you know, standout match for me. I think it was that Epsom match. Even though we came short, Richmond was another good one. A team that we don't usually play.
we don't
Again,
play
we
them.
came up short, but it was one of those games where in the first 30 seconds you hit that first ruck, or you get hit in the first ruck, and you're like, right, this is a proper test match.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's Richmond Heavies, is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're well known.
They're very
Well,
strong.
Yeah, it'd be great if we can keep them on the fixture list, because that was a good match.
Are the heavies the ones you've got to have played for the ones
Yeah.
to get into the heavies? Is
Yeah.
that the rule they run?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's a high standard. And I think what I would say, I haven't played for the vets since before COVID, and I did a number of years.
Noted.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
number of years before then. But the strength in the squad thing, the amount of fixtures that we had to postpone or skip and miss in the sort of 10 years I was knocking around with the vets were quite numerous. Now I don't think we ever get into that position, because you somehow from somewhere you get 18, 20, and as you say, you get 25 sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's a credit to that sort of spirit and that big group. A lot of them are out there tonight on
Yeah.
the AGP. I think it's amazing that you just fulfil fixtures all the time, and you're putting in great performances against the likes of Sutton Epsom and Richmond Heavies.
So Sneedy, we've got good numbers, right? We see that, whenever if you pitch up the tens of listeners that are tuning in, they will come out and see quite decent numbers. Our average age is going up. So to those tens of listeners out there, there must be a few
256 listeners.
All right,
in our last pod.
It's still tens. All right, 25. 10. Yeah, what's the message to them? I mean, if you've got a kid in under 5s, under 6s, under 7s, whatever, we want them down, don't we?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think if you look at the squad, a large cohort of the squad comes from under 12s and under 11s, right? So, to your point, Alex, we've got to be looking at the under 7s, under 8s, under 9s, and start getting 1 or 2 players in, because, take somebody like Matt Pettigan, fairly new to rugby. He's head coach for the under 11s, but he kind of watched on the sidelines for a season or two, and the interest built, and now he's there. He's on every squad list, and that's an example, right?
Yeah.
So it's a snowball effect, right? So, but you're right. It's an aging vets team, so we definitely need to blood in some younger players.
Right, talk us through the Kenya tour, Sadie.
Well, I have to say, I'm not bragging here, but I did a double header of tours. I happened to be out in Monaco, and I just want to tip my hat to the parents of the under 12s. I'll put it to you. Who do you think was more rowdy, the under 12s on tour, under 12 parents on tour, or the vets?
It depends how much whispering angel there was in Monaco. Yeah.
I know you're with you.
No, it was very cliche. We were on the bears. Kenya was amazing. Look back on the tours we've done: Jamaica, Nashville, and Kenya. And Kenya and Jamaica really stand out for me, because you're going somewhere that's different, bit more edgy, got a lot more to offer in terms of culture, and you do some goodwill, and it makes a big difference. So we did some goodwill in Kenya. We raised almost £7,000 for Little Rock School. So thank you for everybody who contributed.
That's fantastic. I mean, that'll go a long way out there as well.
I thought we'd raise $2,000 at a stretch. And when we all went out there and we walked into the school, so it's in the Kibera slum, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, which is one of the largest slums in Africa. And we were all on this bus together. There's 25 of us on this bus together, and we're driving through the Kibera, and it's proper slum, right? I mean, it's poverty to the highest degree. And then you go through the gates of Little Rock School, and it's like a little oasis. And the principal, Miss Lily, takes us on this tour, and you walk into these classrooms, and they're pristine, they're clean, they're organized, the children are engaged, the teachers are switched on, and it's a school that we were all saying, I'd be happy to go here, I'd be happy to send my kid here. It was really, really touching. And then they had this courtyard And we kind of coordinated with playtime, and we chucked in 10 balls, and they're all picking up balls and running around and tackling each other. A real standout from the tour. But in summary, it was a great tour. Had fantastic hosts, Gulias.
Les Galois.
Galois.
Yeah.
They hosted us tremendously well. They put on a couple of marquees on the pitch and gin and tonic bar and beers and barbecue. I mean, they couldn't have been.
Was
they couldn't have been
unbelievable.
better. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and they weren't too shabby in a night out after.
No,
either.
they were decent. They were decent. Yeah, they were not too.
I'd never seen a guy walking around a pub before with a magnum of tequila.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Surely that was Kevin Langston.
It was something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Sneedy, you ambushed Mick, didn't you, on the tour?
I caught him at a moment of weakness.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I'm 52, and we talk about an aging vet side, and I felt that I'd done a shift, and it was time for somebody else, a little bit younger, a little bit wiser, to take on the mantle. And there's a sort of a committee of people that I speak to.
Committee of one.
And we felt Mick was the right person to take the vets on into the next chapter. So I was sat in the bus with him the night before, and I knew I was going to tell him on the tour. And I sat on the bus with him, and I was like, "Oh, it's not the right moment. He's we've had too much juice in us." So I thought, I'll wait. And I saw him the next morning, bags under his eyes, head down, walking around. I grabbed him, gave him a big hug, and said, "Listen, you need to take it on from here."
There was just to set the scene. This was just in the wee breakfast area in the place we were staying, and I'll always remember there was a weird tinkling noise, like a sporadic tinkling noise, and I was standing looking at the buffet with my hands by my sides, wondering what I'm going to do next. And the tinkling noise was just the shakes of all the guys trying to hold their coffee mugs and the saucers because we'd only just get in, and it's great. Yeah.
Well, look, I mean, great shift, Sneedy, yeah, and
Yeah,
congratulations, Mick.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah,
It's
what a good
unreal
choice.
shift.
Yeah. Cheers.
Let's see what the future
Big
holds.
boots to fill.
Oh, very.
Yeah.
Very big.
Yeah.
How are you
big
feeling
boots.
about it, Mick? What's the first agenda? Where's the next tour?
Well, we were talking about, and I'll go with Sneedy. I think the one of them, the most important thing we do, yes, we play a bit of rugby and we get looked at. It's brilliant, and we create this bond with another team in a different country, which is fantastic. But I think the charity element it's my favourite bit.
I would back that. I mean,
Yeah.
there was an enormous amount of photos and videos sent on the vets chat from Kenya, and every time something came in, anyone I was near, didn't matter the postman, the milkman, I would say, "You never guess what our vets are doing now." I was so chuffed, of rugby, the bigger picture of rugby, but the effort that was gone in there, and it made me really proud.
Yeah.
Really proud.
Yeah,
Great work.
I do. I think it, the club embraces it, right? Whether you actually are the person that goes on tour doesn't matter. It's the club is going to these, different countries and representing the club and leaving a footprint.
Yeah.
Just by contrast, we went to Nashville last year, which was just a complete rugby booze up.
Mm-hmm.
And whilst it was fun, it just didn't have the sort of soul. You weren't leaving anything behind other than
As I said to the guys in the last day, if charity is a definite thing, right, that we want to do, and if poverty is, something we want to aim for, like Dundee is.
I had a feeling that was going to be.
It's not Dundee. We're not doing Dundee. We're not doing Dundee.
You're not allowed back there,
No,
mate.
I know, not anymore. Sneedy, what a shift.
Yeah.
3 years.
Cheers.
It's been a privilege to have
It's
been on the pitch with you.
Yeah, it's been an honor, absolute honor to be skipper of the vets. This club is a place that I hold dear to my heart, and looking forward to blending in the background and playing under you for a few more years.
Excellent. And you've got what's coming up? 24th of May.
Oh, aye.
Fixture.
Here we go. 24th of May, Vets Tournament in the Alliance Stadium.
Where?
Alliance
Stadium in
Twickenham.
Twickenham.
Used to be called
You're supposed
Twickers.
to say- You've got to say the whole phrase.
Yeah,
Allianz
sorry,
Stadium
yeah.
in Twickenham.
Yeah, which will be unreal. There to raise money for injured rugby players.
Yeah, it's the Injured Players Foundation,
Yeah.
I think.
This isn't after the match, injured. This is
No, it's
actually a charity.
gone before.
It's not
It's an
for,
actual
you know,
charity. Yeah,
in expectation.
it's not self-fulfilling. Sneedy, are you happy hanging about?
I got to shoot, actually.
You got to shoot.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
All right, pal.
Ciao for now.
Thanks for
Cheers,
everything,
Sneedy.
Well
Sneedy.
played, mate.
See you, boys.
Cheers. How about the ones?
Wow.
Should we talk about the ones? Because
Oh.
what a season!
What a long season. What a
Jeez.
feel
Great
like
season.
Gotta say.
Just unbelievable.
Oh.
I mean,
Pre-season soon, isn't it?
Next month.
Yeah.
Next month, yeah.
quite an incredible season. And actually, some fantastic rugby as well. Some startlingly good handling, great defence when it was required. The side had it all,
But also the atmosphere. Whenever
Yeah.
I come down and watch on the side, you can just feel it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it was well, amazing. I mean, just looking at some of the numbers played, including the cup run,
Yeah.
played 26, won 17, lost 8 and drew 1, and scored over 1,000 points.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Between league and cup. Just an amazing season and great entertainment.
And do you know what? I came to see a few of the games, but I religiously read those match reports. that
Yeah,
are sent out.
Paul Hickson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Yeah. Paul.
are excellent.
Yeah.
And they do really, they give you the roller coaster up and down. It's good.
Yeah.
Really good stuff.
Was, for me, the real standout win was the win here where we beat Twickenham 30
Yeah.
points to 28 with a try, with a looping pass that actually was going to decide the game one way or the other. If they'd intercepted it, that was it. There was no comeback, but they didn't. And that actually followed 2 games where we'd lost. And I think even in Chris Lippiott's words when we interviewed him, he said that the game at Hove, the guys didn't even turn up. And yet, a week later, you turned round and beat the eventual winners of the league.
Didn't you on the pod have, before that Twickenham game, you had somebody on the pod talking about that game? It might have been Billy. And I remember listening and just going, yeah, the team's up for this.
Yeah.
They really want it. And, it was really... it was really quite, thought-provoking, inspirational, all those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And Rory Penfold, 33 tries.
Yeah.
I didn't score that many in the entire career.
No.
Never mind one season.
Nor me.
I spoke to, I bumped into a Mr. Andrew Murphy, aka Murphs,
Oh, yeah, Murph,
in a bar somewhere on the Saturday night after the semi-final.
Yeah.
And he said, I was like, how was the game? He said, I've never heard a forward say this in my life. And he said, the backs kept us in the game.
Oh.
Which have you ever heard that before?
No, never.
No.
That's a unique statement.
Indeed.
How late was it in the evening?
Do you know what? It was very late because Murph and I snuck away to get a couple of cocktails. But it was a 40th we were at, but they don't know that. So there we go. Oh, so hold on, Monaco. We were going to talk about Monaco
I think
and the
that
boys
should
because
be-
sorry, Sneedy's
yeah.
gone, but that is it's a lovely little jewel that we get to do and talk about as a club.
Yeah.
And go on, Ali. What you got?
We've mentioned it a couple of times already, and so the Monaco trip is available to it's calendar year. So I think we've often put stuff out there that says it's the under 12. It's actually a mixture of the under 11s and under 12s who were born in that calendar year.
Okay.
So actually the team not only was playing well, but that was a fresh and new squad that has to be put together each year. So we're going to talk a bit about the the games, I'm sure, and about the atmosphere, and we've already mentioned it already. But it's worth remembering. You've got a squad of boys there, and half of them, well, slightly less than half of them were under 11s, and half of them were under 12s. Quite impressive.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
We thought we'd give the boys a shout out.
100%, of course.
Here we go. So well done, guys. Well done. Aaron Mace, Henry Cunningham, Noah Turner, Max Ashton, Jago Craddock, Andrew Wolfe, Jake McGlashan, Ronan O'Hare, Jay Kumar, Joshua Fraser, Archie Pettican, Oscar Sneed, and also shout out to the coaches, Owen Ashton, Jeff Mace, and Matt Pettican. Well done, lads.
Yeah,
what a fantastic effort.
amazing,
Isn't it?
And I do believe Owen ended up reffing about 5 games because one of the visiting refs' plane was cancelled or something.
Oh, is that?
I knew he ended up reffing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could watch him.
Yeah.
So
I
what was
saw
really
him.
nice.
Yeah.
All the different groups, like which feeds it on, because it's quite actually hard to see the team. But once you know it's the team, and you can start. I remember watching it, and you can pick out Owen reffing, his reffing style. You could pick out Jake McGlashan, the way he just runs the ball at 10 and does the wee
Jago.
And Jago.
And Jago, just his blonde hair just flying.
Giving it gas on the edge and scoring it with a swan dive in the corner.
Watching it on YouTube, so it was streamed on YouTube, and what I was so impressed with was their discipline.
Yeah.
Their discipline in sticking to the game plan. You could see what the game plan was, and even though like first game there was a few errors, few bad decisions, actually they were still sticking to their shape. And when they did, they were waltzing it through.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Really impressive.
I watched a bit on YouTube. It was difficult, you're right, because it's quite distance. I watched a bit on the first day, and I managed to watch the final against France. And you're exactly right. They kept their shape and the discipline. The skills were great. There was very few drop balls or bad passes. Very, very few missed tackles. They were very tight games. But it was incredible. And I then think about Saturday, and we'll talk about that a bit, at Twickenham, where Cobham were on the pitch, and they flood the pitch with loads of under 10s, under 9s, whatever they are, and they're playing a touch game, and it is like bees around a honey pie. It's just, and you think, hold on, there's not that much difference in age between this lot that have been drilled to go and play sevens and this lot that are on the pitch at Twickenham just chasing the ball together. So, yeah, it looked really pretty pro, and I know that the boys put in extra coaching specifically around that. So, yeah, congrats.
Well, I think it's about learning year on year. So they went the year before, and took a lot of learning.
Good point.
And came back and developed their plans based on what was going on. So yeah, really impressive.
What would you like me to talk about?
Oh, I thought you were
sorry, I was just
poised
wafting
and
my hand
posed, just
around.
waving it.
Sorry.
Lunny, could you just try and sum up the youth boys, youth girls for the year, moments of note and...
Yeah, I can. I'll start with the girls, and Alex, you can build on this because you're an incredibly large part of that group. So, again, I think we've grown year on year. Recruitment has been excellent, and there's more underway at the moment. I had a call this evening, Alex, from Angie, who I've got to call tomorrow morning because her daughter wants to come and play, which is fantastic.
Hello, Angie.
Yeah, so shout out to Angie. I'll send her the pod link. When
Excellent.
I speak to her. So we get a lot of that, the girls come and try it a lot. And I think we'll want to do something around the Women's World Cup. This is 100 days, I think. I saw an email today.
Yeah, new trophy as well.
Oh, yeah.
Launched today.
So we'll try and do something here at the club because there's the kick-off sort of August. So we'll be into pre-season by then. We'll be hopefully welcoming new girls to the club. But as the season's gone past, I mean, I would... Alex, you can talk a little bit more about the under-12s, but they've been incredibly successful this season, haven't they? If you want to take that up.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate with our under-12s girls team that quite a high proportion of them had played mixed rugby up to under-11s. And so the way in which it works for the RFU is you can play mixed rugby only up to the end of primary school, and then when you get into secondary school, you have to split into boys and girls. And what we ended up this year for the girls' team was the majority of our team have played minis rugby, either Esher, Effingham, OCs, or here. And as a result, we were playing quite a few sides with quite new players, which it really gave us a massive boost, and that was quite positive. But actually, the thing that really made the under-12 season tick was the girls themselves.
Yeah, a good bunch. I refed them once.
They
fantastic.
They look after each other, and they care for each other. The culture that they have created is really a credit to them. People on social media would have seen some of the issues we've had with misgendering for 3 of our players, and one in particular, and that was hard. But a lot of good came out of that. A lot of good of rugby came out of that. We had Shauna Brown here on the back of that. We had some great stuff this season. Sadly, fell at the final hurdle in the final cup game, but hey, that's 40 minutes in many weeks of play. So I can't dwell on that.
No, you shouldn't. And the 14s were a little bit the other way round, actually, because I think they struggled down to 14s in a lot of their games. I think they met quite a few strong teams. But on finals day, which we hosted here, by the way, we had over 500 people come through the club. I think the bar took over $5,000 that day.
Wow.
Jade on the barbecue hut was offering me all sorts of incentives to have other days like this, because the queue was about 40 people long most of the day, and it was wonderful weather, and we had loads of plaudits. On all of the WhatsApp groups, all the girls' coaches said thanks to Surrey for organising such a great finals day, and we got as many of those as we did for just being good hosts, and we had good parents doing car parking duty. It's a nice place to pitch up. There's many of us sort of just helping funnel people to the right pitches and giving the refs sun cream for their bald heads. I did about 3 refs. it was really, really hot day. So
it was a hot day.
All those little things count, I think. But the 14s, they'd had a tough season, but they had to play 2 games on finals day. I can't remember why.
The odd number of teams. So what they did was they played like a qualifier to play for the Vars, I think, and they won that game. And then won the final game.
Correct.
Wow, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Another great group of girls. They real team effort.
And another super set of coaches with Jamie and Rich and Jeff managing, and it's promising, that age group. And I'm so glad they ended on a high, because I do know they've struggled with a few matches. Under 16s didn't win on finals day, but again they find themselves in that age group where sometimes they'll roll over teams 50-0, and sometimes they'll get roll over 50-0. It's still, girls is still very much like that at the higher age groups.
But the under 16s had 6 the Surrey team.
Correct.
So they had 6 Surrey players.
Okay.
So you will have matches where you pitch up to play someone and you're without 6 of your players, because that's just the way the season works.
Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. But promising. I'm back into coaching some of those under 16s next year, because they're coming up to under 18s.
Okay.
Under 18s this year, really difficult. The sort of triangle of girls' numbers really does thin out at the top, and it's sort of understandable. But we're trying to keep as many engaged as possible.
What's that? Why is that? Like school and
jobs,
stuff and jobs,
and A levels and
the good ones getting nipped by the women's teams.
Yeah, well, that is a problem that I've really seen this year. So the girls have clustered with Dorking and Hove in the Surrey Cup. Both Dorking and Hove have some great players. And in finals day, I think we had 18 players between us. But we hadn't played together since before Christmas. Yeah. Because what's happening is when there's a friendly fixture, the girls get tapped up by the women's team. As soon as they're 17, they go and play for the women's team, and that happens at Dorking and at Hove. It's not a problem we've got here, because we don't have a women's team at the moment, but I think they need to put some kind of protection.
At the moment?
At the moment, yeah. They just need to put some kind of protection in there, a ring fence. Otherwise, under 18 girls rugby is just going to, might as well just be under 17s girls rugby, and that's not great. So,
before we go off this, we shouldn't forget those girls that play minis but don't play mixed rugby. Which I mentioned earlier on, you have, you can play mixed, but we also offer girls only primary school age. So, anyone listening, if you've got a girl that doesn't want to come down and play mixed rugby, but wants to come and try girls only rugby, 7 p.m. Wednesdays every week, we, for an hour, we're really fortunate at Cobham that the club has invested that hour in girls rugby, and it takes priority. That hour, 7 p.m. every Wednesday.
Yeah, it's good.
Over the summer, we're going to do anything over the summer.
We're going to do some things over the summer.
Okay.
Pre-season start on the 6th of August.
I was going to say, end of season party's not till July the 4th.
Yeah, and the end of season party is a little bit delayed.
But that's to accommodate exams. You know, there's
Of
a lot
course,
of
yeah,
exams.
yeah.
And that'll be a great night. Andy and Alex always do a big night then.
Excellent.
So yeah, girls, I think is in great nick, and you know we'll build on that. We will have our festival. I think it's already on September the 14th. I know it's early, but there we are. I've already spoken to Minis about having the club for the day. So
World Cup quarter-final.
on the Saturday it is, isn't it? Oh, okay.
England are on the Sunday.
Are they?
Yeah.
I thought I looked that up and it was clear.
I'm
Oh.
pretty sure about that. I've got a ticket.
Yeah, you should be sure then. Well, maybe we'll revisit that. But that's always good. When
I can't see past next week, guys.
No, no.
You're talking about.
Yeah, you want the summer off from rugby? No chance. So yeah, we'll have that festival. That's always gone down well.
Yeah.
You know, again, clubs love to come here. It's a nice format. It's a great way of getting some contact rugby in early in the season, 10-a-side. You can bring a couple of teams, and we've had teams from about 5 or 6 different counties come up for that. So
Yeah.
it'll be something we'll do again.
I know we want to move on, but just finish by saying
You don't need to move on, mate.
the girls section in
Yeah.
Surrey, we seem to start the season at Cobham
Yeah.
and end the season
Yeah.
at Cobham. So
3 years
if
in a
you're
row.
looking for the home of girls rugby in Surrey,
Oh, there he
There.
goes.
Ooh,
Look at that.
I
That was
like
nice.
that. Love
Almost
that.
like,
Love that.
it's almost like he's in the comms game.
So I'll move to the boys.
Please,
yeah?
Lenny.
And you know, I don't want to go into lots of detail about lots of things, but I would highlight it by, if I start at the bottom, the under 12s have come in, and you know that coaching team and management team they've really bought into the way we do things in youth rugby. You know, they've been accommodating when we've needed them to be. They've made requests when they wanted something a bit different on a Sunday, like an earlier kick-off, a late kick-off, whatever. And I would just say, Matt Faraday, he's been excellent with me, and I've had no problems with under 12s. What are you looking at?
I just don't understand where Faraday came from in terms of managing this. Why wasn't he doing this from under 5s? Because he has obviously been sensational, and
Yes.
he hid on the sidelines with a coffee for 6 years.
As a consultant.
He was watching us all what we're doing wrong. But no, he's been great. And I know that the under-12s in the Cups have found themselves a bit mismatched. But, you know, I think that age group is all about that. You come in, you find your feet. But the numbers have been good, you know, and consistent. They've played week in, week out when they can. And just been a really good bunch. So I'm really glad that they've come in and sort of set that standard. And we can use that for the under-11s come in and say, look, if you want to know how to do things, talk to Matt
Yeah.
and get it done. So that's been
What's
good.
your take, Mick? You've been
of
at the pointy end with the second team there.
We've got a great bunch of coaches.
Yeah.
Well led by Big Jeff, who's now headed off to Singapore. But I think we've just been really good in dividing the workload.
Yeah.
Right?
It's important.
And conquering. So that's it. We're blessed with a lot of coaches. Sometimes, actually, in the same way that Sneedy said, too many vets on the pitch. Sometimes we've got too many coaches, right? And we got to work that out, because sometimes there's a lot of messages hitting the boys on the pitch. But yeah, just good bunch, great kids,
Yeah.
and I can't wait for next year.
It's a good age group. I ref the under 12 girls and also did some reffing for the pre-Monaco Sevens warm-up tournament, which was hilarious. Yeah, of course,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were
we did
tagging
it, yeah,
on,
it was
we were
good,
reffing
yeah.
on. And the lads, they're just great, that age. They really are. You know, because there's some enormous variations in size, right?
Oh, yeah.
There are players bigger than me playing, and there are tiny ones. And they're just, I don't know, it was a really nice day, that festival.
It was good, wasn't
Big
it?
shout
Yeah.
out for that, because really well run, really well attended. Loads of different teams, you know, teams we don't always see. Hayward's Heath were here, I think. Beckenham.
Always helps when Cobham wins as well.
They did win, didn't they? Yes. I wasn't riffing the
It had
final.
nothing to do with it.
But yeah, it's a nice age group, isn't it? So, but moving up, under 13. So Ewan and his bunch of merry men, they have, you know, they've been brilliant because they've been running, I think, 3 teams again this season. They've been very welcoming to new players where other clubs have maybe struggled with some coaching challenges. And they'll move up into under-14s next year, and we've allocated Nathan Spratt as their level 3 coach in that one.
good
I
stuff.
love that.
I spoke to Spratty today about that. So
Lonnie, talk us
Yeah.
through that. So when they get to a certain year group, the club invests
well,
how
it
does it
depends.
work? Okay.
It depends. So we haven't given Owen anyone yet. He's quite capable coach at the moment.
You don't want to have that conversation, Owen.
Well-
If you're listening,
Well,
Lonnie wants to chat.
You're too good on. You don't count.
I would say Owen's team got to the final of Tier 1 in their cup. You know, they are a very successful team, and Owen is a very, very capable coach. I'm not saying anything against Ewan or Alex or anybody else where we've put in coaches, but I took the decision that Ewan probably needs a bit more help because of the numbers and so forth that he's got, rather than Owen. But we'll help Owen when we can, because I know he's absolutely busy with so many other things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 13s have grown well. We got them Spratty for next season, and as I just mentioned, the under 14s have just cream of the crop as far as I'm concerned for this club. I know it's not quite as competitive potentially as when you get older and some of the bigger teams come along, but you know, they played Rosslyn Park in the final, very close final, and that's a great representation to be in that Tier 1 at that age group.
Interesting chatting to Owen about the final and just reflecting on getting up for a final and how you get your team there. It's quite fascinating. As a coach, as a coach of an age group, in those moments, you know, that's really important. You think about that, and you know, the pressure is really on, but you want to keep the pressure off the kids, but you also want to get them up for it, but you don't want to. You know, that's
Difficult
really
balance.
tricky. It's such a, you know, even at that, at that age, what's that? Yeah, under 14s is year 9. Is that year 9? Yeah, that's really, really tough times, and
It is tough. It is tough. I'll talk a little bit about that psychological thing with the Colts in a mo. But so 14's done a great job. 15's grown. I know JT has done loads of great work bringing in new players, and James and Alex have been coaching with Ian and so forth. And Spratty's been around with that coaching group for a little bit, but Alex Summers has commenced his level 3 coaching badge now, so that's good. So he's going to stick with them into under 16s. They had up and down season. They've done some good wins, but more importantly for them is that, you know, sometimes managing to get 2 teams out, which is staggering at that age group, and it shows the recruitment, the effort that people like Tumblr put in. So that's big shout out for that group. 16s with Harry Green, still another amazing age group because they're still putting out 2 teams after Christmas, which is staggering at that age group. Very, very competitive. They were offered top tier in the cup.
Talk us through that offer, mate. How does that work?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a negotiation with that age group because they're 2 teams. They wanted like 1 and 3, I think, and I'm sure I've got this wrong. But they were offered 1 and 4, or 2 and 4, or something like that, or 2 and 3. And they took the decision that I think in that top tier there were quite a few non-Surrey teams. I think Pulborough and others were there, so they said, "Well, we'll play in tier 2." But I mean, I know their B team won really well and played very well. But I went to the final of the A team, and they played Farnham, played all the rugby, absolutely outplayed Farnham, and Farnham, were massive. But you know, the boys did really well, and they were under the cosh. Yeah, thank you for a while. But that's a good age group, and Harry's going to come into the Colts with that group and lead the Colts.
yeah.
So my age group will meld in under Harry, and that's fine. Harry's coached our group.
Did anyone know how did Old Emmanuel get on Saturday?
Pass.
I didn't. Get
I didn't
down
see
there.
it. No, I didn't see it.
Well, it's going to come up. Harry, let me know how you got on. Send me a
Yeah,
message.
but that's another great age group, and I'm looking forward to the combination with my age group and his, and see what's going on in that area. So that'd be good. And then finally, the Colts. You know, it's sort of pitted out, unfortunately, this season, and I think it's more to do with exams and jobs and things like that. We tried to get one last hurrah. I think we played Effingham mid-April, but numbers were such that, you know, one weekend we'd smashed Sutton and Epsom 60-0, 3 weekends later, we went there and lost 40 points to 7. You know, the swing in the availability of players and the sort of quality of the side you can put out is really difficult. But what you do have in that group is you have people that train every Wednesday and will play every game. You know, shout out to people like Ali Walker, right, who he's not missed anything, and I think he started every game for us on the wing. He's never played in the backs in his life until this season. And I think he's come out top scorer.
Oh, really?
You know, and you know, he'll have another season, then he'll be in the second team and the third team or whatever. He's a great club man. So yeah, it's been interesting. So I'm looking forward to next year. Fresh thing. Sim is going to take Sundays off, I think, and do more of a walking round and coach advisory type role across the club. But we'll develop that as.
Oh,
as we
that'd be really.
Oh, I know.
useful.
Yeah, he's got a lot of stuff to give there. So good.
That'd be really useful.
Yeah, good seasons all round.
Excellent. And worth saying at this point that all those lads coming through, I mean, every week for the first and second team, it's been 14, 15 or 16 people out of the 18-man match day squads. It's, you know, it's just fantastic.
And I think pre-Christmas we had 4 or 5 of the Colts play for the 2s or 3s, whichever fixture went out. And in the last couple of cup games, the Colts captain, Noah Joycey Jr. has come on and played for the 1s. So,
unreal. And his dad wasn't even there to see it. Neither was his brother.
No. But yeah, all good.
Excellent.
Fantastic. I mean, I tell you what, to the youths, to the minis, to the mums and dads, to the coaches, the volunteers, the kids, well played. Great season, isn't it? I mean, think of the effort, all the effort that goes into it, and all the enjoyment that gets thrown out the back. Fantastic.
How many plates of food? How many match teams?
That's a lot of pasta.
How many?
It's my biggest expense in youth is food.
Yeah,
by a country mile. Yeah, but I was speaking to Louise just on the day of the finals when all the girls came through here.
Yeah,
because they had a couple of teams on the AGP and on pitch 3, and we were patiently waiting for them to leave. So she does a great job, Louise, in running that minis outfit. And I know that this season or this summer they're looking for their older age groups to start pre-season in August, which will be a first. So that's good. That's showing good aspiration. So we'll have to work with them as youth and girls to make sure we can all fit on the AGP and get our timings right. But
bloody hell.
I know. Mini's doing pre-season. It's fantastic. It's good aspiration.
Let's go. Thank you, Lunny, for that. That's absolutely magic. Pete, talk us through the Braemar membership push.
Okay.
Go on, give us both barrels, please.
If I may just cover the old Serbs lunch. So we've gone from the minis and now we go to the other end of the age spectrum.
We've skipped.
And we had about 130 people turned up here for the Old Streetonians former lunch. I mean, and a lot of those guys have played for both clubs.
How many made it through to the end?
No need to be rude. You see me afterwards, please. So a great day. Braemar membership, we're now up to about 130 people. So I want to hit 150 as soon as possible. So if anyone's interested in joining, get in contact with me or Paul Hubbard. And also just to talk about Pat Burton. Pat came and talked to us, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
A couple of pods ago about this Runmore with Ranmore charity thing about collecting.
It was our last pod.
Boots. Was it the last one? Yeah. Boots and trainers to go to South Africa. Yeah. So another great sort of charity event here. 6 wheelie bins so far, and it's still going.
There was. Yeah.
Do you know what? When Pat was sat here and he was trying to. The size of the bin is 170. Wheelie bin. Would have just solved it. And he's done literage. He's done 7 of them. 6 of them.
Yeah, 6 wheelie bins, and I think they're still going. There's still some opportunities to
I tell you what, if ever there's a shout, it's the end of the season. There must be.
Yeah, there will be.
Loads of it.
And I know that he's linked into the Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, he has.
They come up here as well, and they've been donating. So
that's brilliant. I mean, as a call out to all the vets here who've had a useless season, you know, if you want to throw your boots anywhere, do it. You know,
just tie them together. Take them together. Thank you.
Yeah. So a great effort. Well done, Pat. Well done.
Brilliant.
Yeah, very good.
So we've got some dates for the diary. We just want to
let's do it.
Remind people. So we've already talked about the 24th of May, but if you want to go, I think there's a link in the WhatsApp group. £10 a ticket, includes parking.
What?
What could go wrong?
That's absolutely outrageous.
Wow.
Why would you want to drive to Twickenham?
Come and watch some slow, mediocre rugby.
Yeah.
And
Is it really tens
And
on the
enjoy.
Twickenham pitch?
Yeah.
tens. Is it tens?
Is it tens or 15s? I've
it's
got a
15s.
feeling it's tens.
I'm
TC
sure.
keeps talking about it being tens.
Okay.
They're surely going to paint a smaller pitch.
I hope so.
I don't think so.
But the next one is the Volunteers Morning or the Working
Yes.
Party.
Yes.
So that not last year was not many of us last year. I think it was about, there's about
I
5
was
or
here
6
with
wasn't
Mr.
there?
Hubbard scrubbing the post.
That's right. But in previous years, we've had 30, 40 people come from, the Vets group, obviously. We've had first teamers, seniors, players. We've had parents from the girls' youth sections all turn up. So we're going to start a big push for that. And I was talking to Simon here at the club about the type of jobs that are going on. But there's quite a lot of jet washing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's always good. The patio, the path to the tennis courts, clear the gullies. There's some painting going on, cleaning the barbecue hut, a bit of litter picking, the white fence clean, which is what we did last year.
Yes, it was.
The more the merrier on that. It's a long way round.
It is a
It's
long way round.
White fence clean.
Just, general housekeeping. That, if there's 30 or 40 of us for a couple of hours on June the 14th, open 9 till 12, then come along and... we've got a spond out, actually, because what we'd like to know is
Nice.
who's coming, so we can
Nice.
start to think, well, how many of these jobs should we realistically try and take on?
I've just while you've been chatting there, Lenny, I've plonked it in my diary.
Get on the spond too.
It's just been overlaid against Family Touch Rugby, which is also on
Correct.
every Saturday
Correct.
over the summer from 10 o'clock on the AGP. But this takes precedence, so thank you for that, pal. What
That's
about
usually
the
good fun.
27th of June? What should people put in their diaries then?
That's sort of
Dinner.
Billy interviewing Anthony Watson, and that is the evening before the first Lions game, I believe. So he's a British Lion. He's going to come along and talk to us. I mean, he's the brother of the coach Marcus, who's here at the club, and it's 3 courses, £65 a head. I think it starts at 7:15, something like that. But so
Brilliant.
a great evening, and
Yeah.
there is space. I spoke to.
I don't
Tony.
think there's much, but
No,
you should
so
definitely go
get
in
in
early.
quick.
Yeah, we're trying to be getting a
That'll
table.
be a great evening.
Yeah. A line, no less. We're going to come on to lines in a second because
Yeah.
we're shortly running out of time. But we're going to do a wee volunteer thank you evening at some point in September. That's actually really good fun
Yeah,
to
that's
turn up and get a few jars down range. And
exactly. It's good, and we'll get that date right. And Pete and the Braemar, they give out some prizes and awards.
We do.
Because we've got to value the guys that the guys and girls that put themselves out every midweek and Sunday and do all sorts of things. They're thankless tasks a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Whether it's management. I mean, personally, I find the hardest thing trying to get parents to say yes on Spond. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that, but it seems to be the hardest thing for people to do. But yeah, so we like to value the volunteer, and Pete and the Braemar Club always generous with gifts.
We'll
so-
be handing over some champagne and a special. Probably we'll go for the old silent pool gin trick again.
Oh no!
hold
Seems to go down
on a
pretty
minute.
well.
Hold on. Shots fired. You've raised the stakes here. Right, excellent. So looking forward to that. And then, what a day this is going to be.
I know.
I know it's a long way out, but
It's a long way out.
it's
I'm not sure.
definitely-
I don't think I'm still not allowed to go.
I don't think
Yeah.
you are allowed to
Yeah.
go, Alex. Not from home. Just the South Western Railways have said, please keep this guy away from Waterloo Station.
Mine's in the diary. I've got a table of yeses already.
It's him. 14th of November.
Yeah.
The City Lunch, and who's coming?
Well,
Ashy.
yeah.
She's coming.
The
That'll
Ash
be good.
Splash.
That will
Chris
be.
Ashton.
That will be
Yeah.
good value.
I think we're doing another interview style, I think, aren't we?
There'll be an interview.
Yeah.
I think it might well be
Yeah.
Harvey doing his
It should.
doing his thing.
Yeah.
Which
Good
I mean,
format.
that'll be slightly different to an Ian McGeechan silence.
Yeah.
Just bathing in the aura of
Yeah.
the great man, and this will be more about
Sad news about Ian
yeah,
Yeah.
this week.
yeah,
Very sad.
yeah.
But raises another topic that we've talked about a lot at the club is prostrate.
Yeah.
I've had my test done.
Mate,
Yeah, I've
get
had
it,
mine
Ted.
done, yeah.
Go on.
Not
absolutely.
the snappy glove test, but the blood test.
Oh.
The SA
Oh.
test. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got that one to. I was going to say look forward to, but you're wiping your eye there.
It's a blood test now.
A wee shout out to, and I'll read you a text message I received, or I sent and then received back on my phone today. I said, and I quote.
Well,
hold
aren't you
on.
home yet?
It's coming up.
Where are you?
I said, very, very well played, pal. Room in the Cobham Vets for a 9, should you feel the urge.
Oh, DC.
Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Thanks, mate. Then me, no, I don't think you understand. We need a 9. Pre-season starts in August. Hasn't replied to that.
No pressure.
So I tell you something. How many professional players have done 19 years at a club?
Oh, it's
It's
amazing.
amazing.
It's ridiculous.
Many Top
I-
Secret Joe,
it-
someone like that movie.
He's
but
got to be, what is it, 396
Something like that.
times for Quins.
Yeah.
He's got to. He wanted those Final Four, didn't he? He really wanted those Final Four, especially with Good doing it for Sarri's
That's
last
true.
Sunday. But amazing! And there was, I saw something online. It was like, if you count tries and assists, he's way ahead. He's way ahead of all the others. You know, all the
Yeah.
usual people you'd expect to see in that. But I like Ashley, like Good, like. Who else was on there? Slipped out of my mind now, but yeah, he really.
Christian Wade, probably.
Wade was there. Yeah, Wade was up there. But tries plus assists, he's been dynamite.
No, he's
So
great value.
obviously being a Netherlands thing, but
Maybe coming to a vets game near you.
yeah. Ooh.
I know it's right. So I thought we've got a few minutes to go.
Yeah.
We've had a great season across the whole club, and when you sit back and I listen to you, Lunny, and talk about like all of the effort that goes in and all the enjoyment that the kids get, it's something else.
Oh, yeah.
And it's taken me maybe personally like a year to really get a broad take on it all. But we do have one thing to look forward to, and that is the Lions tour, right? And I thought we'd have a wee chat about maybe not the Lions, because the Lions are Lions. People got picked, and that's all groovy. But what about the squad that didn't make it?
Oh.
What would be your 1 to 15 who didn't make it? There's some clear picks out there in the front row.
Well, Jamie George.
Jamie George.
Right, Jamie George is
Yeah. Finlay Beelum
Yeah.
from Ireland.
Yeah, Ireland, yeah.
How about in the back row? You get guys like Big Daffy Jenkins,
Jack
you've
Willis.
got
Tom and
Jack Willis.
Tom and Jack Willis. Yeah.
Right.
Ben Curry.
Do you think Jack Willis is on that list of we're going to bring you out?
Oh,
He's got to be.
on
Is there a
form.
complication with his French employers? Is that the issue?
He's got longer.
Others have
Done it-
managed. Others have
done it
managed.
with King,
Others
but,
have managed.
Kinghorn.
Yeah.
going out, yeah.
But
He's on.
he's in though. I mean, they're
I don't know. Jack Willis, I think, just he was
Yeah.
one standout. I actually didn't. When I saw the squad, I thought, okay.
I'll put a wee nod in for big Jamie Ritchie. I thought he did really well in the Six Nations. He's been doing pretty well in the URC. And then what about
Well, is it Ben White?
Ben White at 9?
Yeah,
But one of my
that was
favourites.
debatable, wasn't it? 'Cause quite a few people were calling for him, but I think they got the right three.
What were the three again? They went with Mitchell.
Jameson, Gibson, Park.
Great.
And
Who's going to start?
Thomas Williams. The only problem I have with the Thomas Williams pick is the difference in what he's been doing for Wales versus Gloucester. Now I know Wales. I can see the look on your face.
No, I know.
Pete.
I was thinking about the last Gloucester game when they went.
Oh yeah, I know, but I think Anscombe let him down there. I think Anscombe's moved on already. That's watching that. But yeah, Thomas Williams has been brilliant for Gloucester.
He has.
He's absolutely brilliant. And maybe playing with a more dynamic team. No, that's not fair on the Welsh team. I think they're dynamic, but I just don't think they can not quite measuring up. It might be a different kettle of fish, but Ben White was unlucky to miss out.
Yeah, I
10?
don't think he played enough minutes, did he? He kept getting taken off, Ben White.
Maybe for wee Horn.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about 10? Who would you put?
Look, my the WhatsApp groups I'm close to will know I'm a fan of Owen Farrell. I think he just his attitude is what the team need, and I would have probably put him in there.
Just going to get better week on week.
And then
I like it. I basically, I'll go back to what I said earlier. The effort, and just.
So you'd put Farrell ahead of Prendergast or Ford?
Ford blew it in that European Cup game,
but
against
also the France
Northampton.
game.
His defence was so weak,
ropey.
More missed tackles in the Six Nations than anyone else.
I think my view is the next in line. I agree with the 3 picks. To be honest, the next in line would be George Ford, who then showed everyone how good he was.
Oh no,
So,
interesting.
Yeah, he has been superb.
Yeah.
Did I hear he is one of the only people to get north of 100 international caps and not get picked for the Lions?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that right?
Sounds-
Danny Kerr must be in a similar boat.
Yeah,
But he fell out. I mean, the
He was out.
Aussie-
He was out then. Back
he was
in,
out
wasn't
of favour,
Yeah,
wasn't
fair
he?
point.
But
Fair
he's
point.
Yeah, he was out
There's
of
a
favour.
few. There's a few
Centres?
close and-
Manu
Manu,
playing in France, isn't he? Apparently playing very well.
we Robbie Henshaw.
2-1.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyone been watching Joe Marchant over in France?
I haven't seen him, but loved him when he was
Man.
at Quins.
It's yeah, maybe not.
Slade.
Is Henshaw?
No. Slade, not quite there.
I think it's not there.
A
Henshaw didn't go, no.
wee tip to Stafford McDowell, who might be on a standby lists,
Wow.
perhaps.
Okay.
And then at the what about the?
Darcy Graham.
The
Darcy-
pocket
I'll tell you what. I reckon. So this question has been pitched by Mick, and do you think he just wants to talk about Darcy Graham? Do you think this is just an opportunity to talk about Darcy Graham?
I think it's a universal. I think Matt Hansen was like, oh,
Yeah.
He was shocked. He was
He's
more
on-
shocked than us.
He's on tour because he's good fun, I reckon.
he's just a classic
Oh,
tourist.
yeah. I've seen interviews with him on Irish TV where he stands up. He's on like a Teams call, stands up, he's got just a T-shirt on. That's it. It's like, this guy.
Just Matt Hansen.
It'll be fun.
A backpack of Chardonnay and a bunch of cigars. Let's go.
Yeah.
If you didn't see,
as well, can't he?
Yeah,
He's going home.
Saving on hotel bills. Great. Genius.
if you didn't see the live stream of the announcement, it was a little bit
I
plastic,
heard, yeah.
and it wasn't ideal. But there was one very, very real moment when I think it was Hugo who said, and now we're going to speak live to Matt Hansen, and Farrell went, "Oh no." and I was,
There we go. Says it all.
Bluetooth hearing aids. I can hear it really clearly, and I was there, and he went, "Oh no." And it was just reactionary. It was he didn't mean to say it. It was quiet and it was out of the way, and you just go, actually, that's not a bad shout. Is what is there?
Now, I'm assuming, just logistics, thinking, you guys were forward planning here. I'm guessing the timings of the games are bar friendly over here.
Oh, 11 a.m.
We just
Very bar friendly.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, so
midday in France, right?
Of course. Somewhere in the Commonwealth, it's after 12. Right, fantastic.
But the first game, although it won't, it's going to be missing a few. It's going to be missing a few of the big boys. 8 p.m. on Saturday, the 20th of June.
What time is that?
That's in 5 weeks' time.
Because it's in Dublin against Argentina.
Oh, now we're talking. Brilliant.
That is good.
Yeah, so it's 8 p.m. against Argentina, and there will be some. It will be a.
Arges by 7.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
Oh, is that?
Do you remember that 2005? That was painful, wasn't it? That was like versus Ireland in 2004. It's one of those games that never gets out of my head. Yeah.
I bumped into one of the dads of one of the Colts at the Twickenham game on Saturday, and I was talking to him at half time, and we talked about the Lions, obviously. And he said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going actually." I said, "Oh, how are you doing that? That's amazing." He goes, "It's a friend's 60th. It's been in the mix for a long time. We're there for the second 2 tests." I'm like, "Oh my
that'll
God,
do it.
how good! How good is that?" So
Jeff's
enjoying
out
that.
there, isn't he? Jeff's going.
Big Jeff Mace, yeah.
Yeah. I think he's swimming from Singapore.
It's a short hop. Knowing Jeff, you probably would. Yeah, no problem. Oh, I can't wait for it. Well, listen, chaps.
Yeah.
We've summed up the season.
Yeah.
We've done 14 pods.
Yeah.
They've had about 200, sometimes 300, sometimes 350 listeners for each pod. So we've been in the ear holes of thousands of times for the team, and it's been great fun.
It has.
And I hope everyone who's listening has enjoyed the pod. If you want to drop us a wee email, you can always email them us at cobpod@gmail.com. We're open for ideas, improvements,
Guests
and compliments,
ideas.
obviously.
Yeah, but maybe the odd compliment.
You're great, Pete.
Yeah, you're great. You're a bit great, even if he is a bit shabby. But Lenny, thanks very much for
been a pleasure
for helping out, Pete. Thank you.
Great. Fun again. Absolutely, really enjoyed
and
it.
Ali, the unsung hero, the guy who puts together the words, pokes the coaches to get some stuff in for the match reviews. Thank you so much. And to everyone listening, thank you. Have a cracking summer. We will be back, I am sure, next year.
Yeah.
Until then, have a blast. Cheers.